Go Blue, everybody. What's going on in spring camp? Recruiting news, and Michigan makes the Sweet 16. How sweet it is. It's all coming up next on Michigan Wolverines Live. Man, I love that. That intro slaps. Hey, everybody. It's John Diadamo back in the saddle again. As Aerosmith says, it's Tuesday, March 25th, 2025, the 192nd episode of Michigan Wolverines Live. And we are excited to be coming to you from YouTube. We're excited to be coming to you from Twitch, X, and on your commute, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and iHeartRadio. So you can enjoy us when you're driving to work or whatever the case may be. And if you like our content, leave a rating or review as you do that. As you come in here and join us all, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this YouTube link out with at least one friend. If everybody shares it with Wolverine Country, we're going to blow this thing up as we do. And last thing, send that super chat in if you want your comment or question to be read on screen. And back, TJ, it's good to be back. You guys held it down. I listened in last week. Great stuff, but good to be back.
Yeah, man. We had Johnny Olden holding it down, but obviously, I know you watched the show. Obviously, it wasn't as smooth as it typically is with you under the controls. So glad to have you back. I was actually in the middle of listening to Kinetic's voice chat to the text.
Oh, snap.
So, that's what I was doing just before. But we have a hell of a show, boys. We got a banger. We do have a banger. We got a lot to share, a lot of goodies, a lot of fun stuff, interesting recruiting tidbits, interesting spring intel. And then, of course, we're going to hit on Sweet 16, and we will give you guys a bracket update on where we stand in the bracket, the race to $1,000, a.k.a. my money, a.k.a. you're not winning, I am, a.k.a. Go Blue, FOSU. You already know the rules. All right. So, but yeah, man, looking forward to the show. Appreciate the community. Appreciate everyone being a part of this today. Let's get it, man.
Yeah, my bracket is already shot. St. John's is already out of the competition, but many, including yourself, are still alive. And I look forward to seeing which member or host or whoever winds up winning the Winn agency bracket. But it's a great time.
Bro, you took a shot, and if it worked out, you would have won.
I would have won. So that's what I figured. It's like, hey. You might as well make a bold take and see what happens. But oh well, Arkansas destroyed my hopes, and it is what it is. It is what it is. But looking forward to everybody seeing who wins and kind of keeping tabs on the Winn agency bracket. We got JRM here. Go Blue. Moose asking if we're ready for the hammer. I'm still waiting on that hammer. I'm still waiting.
Buckeye Scoop posting stupid shit today, talking about kids like, oh, he was a Michigan lock. This offensive tackle committed to Ohio State today. Oh, he was a Michigan. I thought he was a Michigan lock. Shut up.
Yeah.
Never once on this channel did we mention his name. Michigan, no one in any of the insider spaces has mentioned him as a top target. Buckeye Scoop, another L today, one of many.
Russell Harris saying, let's go Blue. Moose is here. Lance is here. Kinetic, one of the Avengers, is here. So many of our members, and we appreciate all of you stopping by. I know, West Quad. I know. It is what it is. Listen, listen. If it had worked out, then I would have been I think I was the only one who picked him. So that's what I figured. Like, high risk, high reward. It is what it is.
I texted John. I was like, St. John's, bro. He's like, I'm going for it, dude.
Might as well. All right. So spring camp has been open for about a week now. There is some intel that's happening, and high level. It sounds like spread and smash. The spread and smash Chip Lindsey offense is higher octane and higher tempo than we thought. And that begins, of course, with whoever's going to be under center. And TJ, I believe you might have a tidbit or two on Bryce Underwood, who apparently is coming in early, staying late, doing the right things early on here. Love to hear kind of what you've been hearing too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so as we know, spring ball just kind of started as of last week. So there's only been a few practices. I think there's been two practices in pads. The rest have been walkthrough shorts and t-shirts, etc. But what we do have in the early indications of what's going on is Bryce Underwood is in fact first in, last out. Everything we heard about him in terms of his work ethic, demeanor, it's through action is showing. So that's good to hear. Something that I think we can all be excited about. The thing that's very interesting, I'd say the most interesting tidbit of information that I've received recently is the offense is actually pretty up tempo. The early read of the offense is that Chip Lindsey is pushing the ball through the air. It does have an up tempo, a quick snap process that they're implementing early into this. There does seem to be a focus on more air yards. Sharon Moore did make a comment that, they're going to maintain their running, but they're looking to be more versatile in the air attack. And from all the accounts from not only recruits, because there have been some recruits who have mentioned some of this, but even some things I've heard on my end, this offense is definitely more aggressive through the air, and they do look to take their shots. And it's very exciting to hear that. I think that's music to Michigan's ear. And that's just the early read of what we're hearing on practice. Obviously, we'll follow up with it in terms of what are we hearing next week or the week after and so forth. And then obviously we'll be able to look at it in the spring game. But early reports are this offense has an aggressive air attack approach to it, which we're excited to hear. And the running identity is going to be maintained at Michigan the way it looks right now.
That's really exciting, and I think that there's some talent that at times in North Carolina, I don't even know if Chip Lindsey had some of the talent that he has now at the running back core. A player like Justice Haynes, an up and comer like Jordan Marshall, who basically single handedly ran that game against Alabama as the primary running back. So he's going to be able, I think, to be very versatile from day one, even if Bryce isn't quite ready against the New Mexico Lobos. I feel like he's gonna be able to be versatile, even with Mikey Keene in there.
Yeah. So what's interesting is regarding like the quarterback rotation and that whole room right now is there's been some reports. So like what we've heard is, Bryce and Mikey Keene are rotating, but dude, Jaden Davis is also getting some action. So he's a part of that third rotation. Mm-hmm. He's the third QB right now, from my understanding. So, because obviously Davis Warren's injured. So, yeah, I mean, so here's what we do know in terms of the quarterback battle. I believe, and it was either Chip Lindsey or Sharon Moore, I'm not sure, but one of them said they're each going to get the same amount of reps. They're going to let these guys kind of battle it out. And he says, look, if it's not decided by spring, it's going to go into fall. If it's not decided by fall, it'll go into the season. Well, I'm quite confident they're going to have things decided by game one in terms of the approach. But yeah, I'm sure it'll actually probably get decided in season actually. But at the end of the day, it's in a good spot, the room, obviously, because we have such a promising prospect in there. But yeah, I mean, we have what we've been looking for, and that is a more aggressive offense, maintaining its identity through smash, through power running, with quality, capable players at some of the skill positions, which we're going to get into when we go through some of these players here, John.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously offensive line, being a big factor. One of the key pieces that we predicted, and I think we were the only ones on the scene that were putting our whole chest out and saying we expect Giovanni El Hadi to make a move to left guard. And sounds like there's some smoke on that in camp, that he's been placed there.
I can 100% confirm we are the only ones who presented that the Giovanni El Hadi move to left guard was something that was promised in the retention of Giovanni El Hadi. And the reason why I can confirm that is because the individual who shared that with me only shared it with me, and he has connections within that situation. And on top of that, and I'll be honest, and if you guys remember the show we did about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I brought up to you guys that, word is that Giovanni El Hadi is actually playing left guard, which has been one of the concerns from us. And that was part of the agreement for him to return to Michigan, as there were other schools offering more money for him to go elsewhere. He stayed at Michigan. He wanted to go back to the position that he feels best at, which is left guard, his original position. And what's very interesting about this, John, is we now have video evidence, and as well as other evidence from behind in terms of other people saying, yeah, he's playing left guard right now.
Mhm.
That's where Giovanni El-Hadi is. And at first, what I was saying was, initially I was kind of I was like, are you sure? You're like, so I took it with a grain of salt. I did bring it to you guys about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. And I did say, well, this is what we're hearing, but we'll see. Well, it turns out it's true. And this individual is somebody I'm going to lean on a little bit more through spring practice, because he appears to have some ins. But long story short, I'm not mad at this. I think that's a great transition. If we look at the depth chart, John, we put Giovanni El-Hadi at left tackle. So if we look, and this is the other thing we were going to talk about, we know Evan Link is playing left tackle.
Yep.
So we got Evan Link at left tackle. We got Giovanni El-Hadi at left guard. We got Crippen at center. Left side's looking better to me. And then the word is currently that Nathan Ifobi is currently the one who is at the right guard position,
Mm-hmm.
which was a player that we had on our radar and said he's the one that's expected to fill the left guard position, but he's not filling the left guard position. He's filling the right guard position next to Andrew the Mountain Sprague, or Sprague. Someone's going to kill me in the comments if I get that wrong. Regardless, point is, I'm not mad at this. I am not mad. I feel far more comfortable moving Giovanni El-Hadi to left guard. Now that left side doesn't look as dangerous to me. If Evan Link can play at the 11, I know if Marmar's watching, he's yelling right now. Evan Link played great against Ohio State and Alabama. He keeps telling me this all to you.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Uh-huh.
He did. And if he can maintain that level of play, John, and then you get Giovanni El-Hadi in his natural position, I'm liking the way this is looking here. I'm liking the way this is looking, and I'm very optimistic. I'm very optimistic about it. We have to let it gel. We have to let it build and grow. But I mean, it's something that I think is definitely going to be effective for Michigan going forward.
Yeah, and obviously before we jump off of O-line, I do think it's worth wondering where Lawrence Tatar is going to fit into all of this when he joins the show, because this line does seem like it makes sense. But no offense to Afobe, I mean, Afobe might be somebody that's looked at to where if Tatar's going to beat somebody out, I don't think it's going to be. I think the only person, there's two options. I think Evan Link, but he's not a tackle, so Tatar is not a tackle. And the other option I would say would be Afobe, and everyone else I think is.
Well,
I feel fairly, I don't know, seem like a little more confident.
It's possible to kick Blake Frazier inside to guard. We have some options here, is it possible Babaloa's ready at some point this season and you could put him into this five? I mean, we have options and we have talent. It's not like we have some guys and no, we have talent. We just have some roles that are not quite established yet. But no, man, I'm actually pretty learning about the Giovanni El-Hadi news, seeing it actually on camera. They showed it in one of the clips for the spring practice, confirming it, and then also hearing, through the grapevine that is his position. I'm pretty happy about that, John. But we can transition to some of the other players we're kind of hearing some rumblings about, John.
Yeah, so I think that so Donovan McCauley is getting some noise at primary wide receiver, which I think is not a shock to anybody who's been paying attention. He's got some obviously familiarity with some of these concepts that they're running, and he's got that experience that is so needed at that position. So he seems like the primary X. But don't count out. Obviously, we've got Smaj, and then we've got Fred Moore. So we said that by game one, it might be Andrew Marsh taking the Z position, the other receiver that isn't the slot. But right now, it does look like Fred Moore is getting those snaps.
Yeah, so to your point, John, it does appear from what we're hearing, right, is Donovan McCauley's at the X, which we anticipated, which if you guys have been watching our show, I've been saying I believe Donovan McCauley is going to lead the team in yards and touchdowns next season. And then Fred Moore is starting at the Z position which, is to be expected this early in spring ball. Andrew Marsh is a freshman. He's going to have to earn his way up the pecking order. We'll see if Fred Moore maintains and holds that position. But as it stands, Fred Moore is the starting X receiver. And then Samaj Morgan is the starting wide receiver going into camp right now. So those are the three. Not really a surprise. Anthony Simpson is battling Samaj Morgan. So we're going to see how does that battle, what is the conclusion of that battle? Does Anthony Simpson, is he able to overcome the Samaj Morgan lead, or is it going to be Samaj Morgan starting game one? We're going to find out. I'm sure we're going to have, like I said, over the next few weeks, we'll have additional intel. We'll figure out what's going on. But it's kind of as we expected. I mean, outside of the Giovanni El-Hadi thing, even though we did have the news about him potentially playing left guard, because that's what we were hearing, and it did come to fruition. But the receivers and where they are, it's kind of what we anticipated going into spring ball here, John.
Yeah. I think that someone else to watch, or people to there were some questions about Rod Moore and how ready he was, and it does look like, as we shift a little bit to the defense, that they do expect Rod Moore to be back by the summer. And full go, which is really exciting. And so they're going to be trying him at some different places. They haven't settled. We think he's going to eventually land at nickelback. That's our, I think, one of our nickelback, or we think, at least I think he will, but we're discussing where he's gonna lead. But that just kind of seems like it makes sense, but we'll see. But that was a very encouraging piece of news. And Shamari Earls will definitely be in the 2 deep. So at corner, that is a direct quote so that's that. I think that's all really positive, because we've been talking about Shamari Earls and his talent. Seems like that's one to watch.
So Michigan views Shamari Earls as a 5-star talent. They view Shamari, like it has been since he's been. That's why they were so aggressive. That's why they stole him from Georgia. Their assessment of Shamari Earls is that he should have some contribution to the team during the season at some point when he's ready. Much like Will Johnson, and I got to be mindful, because Will Johnson, we know, guys, special player, first-round talent, made an impact his freshman year, especially once the season progressed. There is a belief that Shamari Earls is going to get on that field at some point this year and have some significant playing time. I want to caution, the corner is such a tough position for a young freshman to transition to the D1 level. But let's see if he can do it, because Michigan is without question very high on him. We know he's wearing number 2, the iconic number 2. It's not for participation. It's because he's that dude, bro. So we'll see if how it translates. I'm excited for it. There does seem to be some buzz already early in the spring ball, and it's just something that we're just got to keep our eye on as it develops.
Yeah, and the defense was always, once it was clear that Wink Martindale was staying, I had a bit less of a concern of the defense and a bit more of a concern over just the unknown of what this offense could look like. The fact, now look, we have been hoodwinked before. We have been told before, speed and space with Gaddis and some of these things, but the fact that we're hearing it from a variety of places, this isn't coming from one source, one news outlet. This is coming from a variety of places and people that we know. And so this does seem to be more encouraging than I think just the made up BS that turned out to be the Josh Gaddis news.
Well, that's the thing, John, is we look, here's the reality. We got fed a lot of shit last fall. So we got to be mindful here. But I think what we can do is just, we'll take the information, we'll vet it to the best of our ability, and what we'll bring to you guys is what we think has some accuracy to it, and we'll also provide we'll provide a word of caution, like be mindful here, right? Like like what we're seeing, the early indications of this offense. Yeah, I mean it's obviously what we want to hear, but we'll see. We'll get a better idea when we all can look April 19th at what it kind of looks like. But I'll tell you this, I'm quite confident it's being as advertised, because if you listen to Sharon Moore. And John, I do have some more players I want to hit on the spring intel update. But if you look at what Sherrill Moore has said recently in some interviews, They really want to be aggressive here on this offense. They want to be more dynamic. When we get into the recruiting update, you're going to see some of the players that we're going to be talking about. One in particular is going to have a surprise visit this weekend that is big time, and I kind of have a feeling what the reason is, which I'll share with you guys. But yeah, I mean, Sharon wants a balanced, aggressive offense, and I believe we have the makings of one. Now, you can want it all you want. Now it has to translate. We'll see if they can get it done, John.
There we go. And before we get to your final couple of players, I do want to just remind there's been a lot of people asking us questions in chat. Just a reminder, we only take super chat questions, or if you're a YouTube member here at the Michigan Voice of College Football on this show. So please just send a super chat if you want your comment or question to be fielded on screen. With that said, let's get back to some other players to be just mindful of here.
Definitely. So another player that appears to be showing a lot of flash is TJ Guy. TJ Guy is showing out right now. In terms of, he just looks like he's ready. Came into camp good, has made some plays. And we knew that, he showed that towards the end of the year. He does look like he's the next one up, right? So we're going to see what
he's not just TJ Guy, he's TJ that guy. That's right. There it is.
That's right, dude. So he will be starting at the same position. Going into next season. Another name that I know will make a lot of people happy, where there's been some really early indications of just really good play early in practice, and that is Dominic Nichols. So that is the edge player. He's playing behind Derek Moore, so he's a part of the 2 deep. I believe he was a freshman last year. I believe that's right. So we're going into his redshirt freshman year. And word is that Dominic Nichols is looking like he's taking a step. He's making some flashes. It is early in spring ball. Again, there was only been, I believe, 2 practices with pads. And the very first practice with pads wasn't even full contact. It was just like some thumping and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, I mean, we'll see, And then the other player I want to hit on, John, that we didn't really touch on is Justice Haynes.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a very interesting battle here. That is probably the second most anticipated battle outside of the Bryce Underwood, Mikey Keene, and that is the Jordan Marshall, Justice Haynes, who is the true RB1. And I know a lot of people are like, well, they're just going to split carries because they're both good. And my position, I'm not a believer in a 50-50 splits because I don't believe those even really happen. But Justice Haynes is looking like a problem. Like he's going to be a serious producer this year. Just by all accounts, just his mentality too, by the way, one of those hardworking, you can see it through actions. You can see it off the field, on the field. Justice Haynes has been pretty impressive early on is what I'm hearing. So, we'll be on the lookout, guys. Hopefully next week we can provide some more intel for you guys, give you guys better insight on what's going on. We get a few more padded practices in, but I think the early info out of camp is fairly positive. Now let's see how it goes and as it progresses, and of course we'll get to really see April 19th.
And that's interesting. There are some rumblings and some smoke about Jordan Marshall, but that Justice Haynes looks like an absolute beast. So that could go down to the week before New Mexico, or even through the season. I think
they're both going to play.
Really, really strong talents.
They'll both play. It's just, what is the distribution? What is the share percentage, right? I'm of the camp that it's going to be about 65-35 Justice Haynes. That's my prediction right now. We'll see how accurate it is. I just anticipate Justice Haynes getting a lot of those carries. I do think Jordan Marshall will get run. I'm not saying he won't. He will. But I just think I think they're going to lean on Justice Haynes. I really do.
For sure. And we do want to thank Blue Wolverine. So $9.99 Blue. Go ahead and throw the blue Wolverine emoji in the chat right now if you've got it. Welcome back, John. Thank you. It's good to be back. Was out on business last week at a conference. But I am back, and it's great. It's great to be with all of you and kind of back in the saddle here. So thank you so much to Blue Wolverine. Any other players, or are we good?
That's all I got for this week's update on Spring Intel.
Okay, so keep tuned as we continue to follow the spring camp. Who knows? Maybe there will be more intel and more whispers on your Thursday night show or next Tuesday. Keep it tuned to Michigan at Voice of College Football. Quick reminder, of course, that you can sponsor Michigan at the Voice of College Football, as well as other channels on our network. You can promote your business, your product, your service, or your personal brand by contacting us at sponsorships@vocfb.com. Let us know if you want to learn how a bunch of enthusiastic college football fans can benefit you and your business. As we've had a great partner, obviously, with the Winn agency and others, but primarily the Winn agency here on the Michigan channel. And we've had a great relationship, and we will make you feel like family. Your family here, and we go the extra mile for our people. So definitely consider sponsoring at the Voice of College Football and the Michigan channel if you want to be right there on the upper right.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, any company that would love to sponsor with us, we'll make sure that we meet your objectives and definitely target the your guys' goals and objectives and make sure we achieve those. So reach the email at sponsorship@voicecollegefootball.com, and we will definitely make sure that we meet your needs there.
Absolutely. And I'm just throwing that one more time in the chat. And of course, another option to support us for just starting at just $2.99 is the YouTube membership. So, as you know, we have 3 levels of YouTube membership. You do see many of them here who are current members. Dave's is here. Marmar's here. Jeez Louise is here, who's, I believe, a Connor Stallions espionage member. And look at Ryan Hall right on cue, just gifted 5 people Voice of College Football Michigan membership. So 5 people can test out the membership program and see what they think. So we've got Rufus Michael Go Bucks. I can't believe I just said that out loud. Lawrence with a U, Lich Max, Frisky, and Ted D are all now going to get 30 free days of Those Who Stay Will Be Champions memberships. Thank you, Ryan, for doing that.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, Ryan. Hope to see you at the spring game, Ryan.
Absolutely. All right. Let's go and let's jump to our next topic, which is going to be the recruiting update. So, TJ, I believe you have some intel on some of these quarterbacks and beyond here as I get the banner going. There we go. Look at all these names. Boom.
Yeah, so much. There's so much to talk about. There's actually even some things I'm not going to hit on because I just don't think it's as critical. So I'm just going to hit on the things that matter the most. But there's actually a lot going on as expected. It's things are happening with Michigan, and I'm very excited. There's also some interesting news I'll share at the end that is Michigan recruiting related, not player related. All right, so Rider Lions, as we know, quarterback 1 for 2026. Chip Lindsey has definitely taken a priority with Rider Lions. And guess what? Rider Lions is being very vocal about it. Rider Lions is like, I like to sometimes correlate dating with recruiting because it's kind of like that, right? Like you're trying to lock up the girl, aka the prospect. Yet, you got other dudes talking, aka other teams are talking, other programs are talking. And then, people always do these little like sneaky things to like mark their territory, right? So Rider Lions literally quotes and said, as soon as Chip Lindsey got the job, he made it clear I'm their number 1 guy. I'm the top guy. They want me bad. They believe in me. He goes, I'm technically these are quotes from Rider Lion. I'm technically a 2027, so it could work out. I could learn under Underwood during his 3rd year and then come in. You want to come in with the best and compete against the best. Michigan is definitely in my top 5 for sure. Now, what's interesting about that is he is clearly stating I'm their number 1 priority, but he's putting us in his top 5. So very interesting. I will say this though. So he did just spend, he will be visiting Michigan from the 12th into the 13th. So he will be getting his unofficial visit That is when, guys. So we're going to be on the lookout for that. That is when Michigan will make its move. And I have a feeling Michigan's about to roll out the red carpet and go all in here, just the way it appears. We've been kind of following the Rider Lions recruitment for, I don't know, a good month and a half now, I would say. And I told you guys early, this is who I would go with for 2026, even though I know what it means for Trey Taylor for 2027, who is a friend of the program. But Rider Lions is special. I also want to make a correction because, our friends, I was like, well, what church is he a part of? What is this mission he's going? It is Mormon, but it's a year and a half. It's not a full 2-year mission. So he is Mormon. So I just want to make that clear. I just wasn't sure about that. But regardless, so this is going to be QB1 for 2026. Be on the lookout for this. Very intriguing prospect. We will definitely follow this as we go. The 12th through the 13th is the dates to watch for him. The next player I want to talk about, John, Jackson, number 1 player in the nation, Cantwell, offensive tackle. You already know Michigan makes these guys a priority. Here's what's interesting about what's going on here with this. He had a visit and he met with Andrew Sprague and Andrew Babaloa. So those were the 2 players who kind of chaperoned him on the visit. He spent a lot of time with Sharon Moore. By all accounts, the visit went very well. The Cantwell family was very impressed. It is my opinion from things that I've heard that things are trending very well for Michigan, but there is still a long way to go here, guys, because here's the reality of this. And I'm going to give a shout out to EJ Holland here because he's been very honest about this and he's not wrong. It's an NIL battle, boys. It's just what it's going to be. Now, obviously program matters, obviously development matters, but we all know at the end of the day, when it comes to players like this, number 1 players in the nation, you got to come with the NIL. Here's the good news. Michigan's willing. We know this. And Michigan puts a precedence on trench players, especially offensive line. Sharon Moore obviously takes pride in this position. So Michigan did do everything they needed to do on this visit. The next time Jackson Cantwell is going to be on campus is going to be June 13th for an official visit. That is when Michigan can make its next opportunity in terms of major impact, in terms of him lowering his team list into like maybe like a top 3 or whatever. And Michigan hopefully and potentially taking the lead here. I will say, though, that I think Michigan put themselves in a great position that is going to give Michigan a great opportunity as it gets to the finish line come December, November, etc. So let's be on the lookout for that. Another major visit, John, Malachi Lee. And I want to give a shout out to the Maze Madman crew with Maniac and Kinetic. So they did an interview with Malachi Lee. So shout out to them for getting that interview and start building that relationship with him. So he spent a lot of time with Sharon Moore. Okay. He even had dinner with Sharon Moore, which is very unique, right? Because like the coach can only have dinner with so many players. Malachi Lee was the guy. Remember, this is the kid from Hawaii who did a 4-day unofficial visit. This is the kid who everybody flew out to Hawaii. I believe it was in January to give him a visit to let him know, hey, you matter to us. I don't care if you're halfway on the other side of the world. We're going to come visit you. So the thing that made this visit very special is like Michigan essentially just crushed it. They crushed the visit. It appears from what I have heard that Michigan may have the lead right now, boys. I know a lot of people thought USC was trending, which they were. USC was trending, but it does appear this visit has given Michigan at least the position to be, if not leading, right there with USC. And his next visit, which is major, and he's looking forward to, he's very excited about it, is June 20th, Victor's Weekend. And this is right now, currently, as it stands, a Michigan-USC battle. But I'm going to be real on my vibe and my feel from everything that I'm understanding and hearing. As we stand March 25th, I like the position we're in right now. I think we're in a good position for Malachi Lee.
That's great to hear. Obviously, we've heard a lot of USC smoke, and that's going to continue to be a battle. But it's good to hear that Michigan is contending, because if you're an O lineman, I mean, look at how many O linemen Michigan's been putting in the draft and are playing on NFL teams. If you look at every NFL team, you're going to see a lot of block M protecting that quarterback, and so I think Malachi might see the possibility there.
Absolutely. I mean, look, you want to go to the NFL, you come to Michigan. We have the most offensive linemen in the NFL right now. We are the Joe Moore award-winning school. We are O-line U. This is where you go for offensive line. To talk about our next offensive lineman, John.
Yeah.
Gregory Patrick out of Portage, Michigan. Currently down to 4 schools. He did put out a top 4 list. It is Michigan, Penn State, Michigan State, and Notre Dame. So I just wanted to give a quick update on that and where we stand in that recruitment. Another player ranked top 150, another big time player, another player that's high on Michigan's board. So that's where we are there. The next player I want to talk about, this is exciting. I want to give another shout out to the Maze Madman show because they had him on, and that's Zayden Krempin. This kid, and when we talked to our guy,
Bear McWhorter.
Yeah, Bear McWhorter. We talked to him before the show. We kind of mentioned Zayden Krempin to him. And I told him, I was like, your play style is identical. Like, you guys are nasty. Like,
yeah.
If we put their huddle tape up next to each other, you see the same DNA. And that is smash. Yeah, dog smash football and FU mentality, play to the whistle. Exactly what Michigan wants. What's interesting too is we actually just brought into the network, John, an LSU team analyst who covers recruiting for the state of Louisiana. And me and him were talking about Zayden Krempin because one of the schools that's really recruiting Zayden Krempin is LSU. LSU, Texas, and SMU, as well as us, are the schools that are currently in this battle. And he was telling me that the vibe that he was getting was that Michigan is kind of leading right now, is what he was telling me. So very interesting to get that vibe from his perspective, being LSU, Louisiana based, right? Now, here's what's interesting here. So he did just have the visit with Michigan. The visit went extremely well. They paired Blake Frazier, who's another Texas kid, up with him to do this visit. And by all accounts, Krempin has said that Michigan may very well be the number 1 school. Michigan may very well be the top school. Like, he is really feeling Michigan.
Very positive. The trends very positive.
Yeah, the official visit will be in June, so that'll be the very next time, I believe. So this is me. This is speculation. This is not intel I've received. I'm just assuming by just reading the tea leaves. I believe Michigan can close after the official visit in June, is what I believe. The way this thing is trending in the position Michigan appears to be in. We'll see, though. I'm assuming there, just from what I'm gathering, but it just feels like that's the way this Zayden Krempin recruitment is going. And we'd be excited as hell to get him, because if we can get Bear McWhorter, we can get Zayden Krempin, Jackson Canwell, Malachi Ali. Bro, it would be better than last year's class with Ty Haywood and Babaloa and Strayhorn and who's the other one we got? Shit. I can hold on. One question. I have it right here. Hold on. And no, that's it. Oh, Avery Gash. Yeah, dude, it would be. So we'll be on the lookout for that. That's big time. So the next player we're going to talk about is Samuel Rosenborough. Just a quick update here.
Florida.
Yep, he essentially said Michigan is definitely a top school for him. They're definitely in the top after his visit. So, we'll just keep an eye on that. The reason why I wanted to bring him up is because he's actually one of the top, I believe he's one of the top offensive linemen in the nation. Let me just triple check here for you guys. So he is currently, he's ranked 126 in the nation, the number 7 interior offensive lineman. Actually, yes, I'm very familiar with him now. 6'5", 285. This dude is a mauler and a monster. And the fact that he is saying that Michigan is definitely a top school for him this early in the stage, in terms of it being in March, it's still early in the recruiting process. He's out of Clearwater, Florida. This is just a name we're going to keep our eye on. I just wanted to present this name, so this is a name we can get familiar with, because I do think potentially he could be in the discussion for joining this class as it progresses, as the cycle progresses, and we'll stay on it. But just want to present that name. The next thing we're going to talk about, John, or unless you got something to hit on that with.
Well, I was just going to say, we got to the smash, and now we're going to get to the spread with Calvin Russell.
Absolutely. All right, boys. We all know Tristan. Actually, we're going to talk about Tristan Keys. I'll bring up Tristan Keys in a little bit. Calvin Russell, the number 3 player in the nation, 18 overall, is going to be visiting Michigan for a multi-day practice. Okay, so he did visit. He did visit already. It went really well, guys. The visit went really well. But the thing about this recruitment that I want to hit on is, and the Tristan Keys one is very similar here. These are going to go to the finish line. These are elite skill players, top 3 at their position. you better believe they're going to be taking phone calls, and it's going to be, again, we're going to put this in the Jackson Cantwell bucket, NIL heavy. And this is a player we need to keep an eye on. Here's the good news. Calvin Russell's very interested in Michigan. Here's the good news. Calvin Russell and Bryce Underwood are definitely in conversation. Bryce Underwood is trying to recruit Calvin Russell to Michigan. So we have to, what Michigan did is what they needed to do where we stand currently in this recruitment. We just got to keep it going. The next step for Michigan is getting him back on campus for an official visit. Let's see if we can do that. And then from there, we're going to have to monitor this. If anybody remembers the way the Derek Meadows recruitment kind of went, guys, like we kind of saw like another elite wide receiver, right? It did kind of come down to NIL, but it kind of didn't because actually Michigan offered more in NIL. But at the end of the day, when it comes to these skill wide receivers, they're really going to want to see things on the field translate before they're ready to commit to Michigan fully. But the good news is, and I can confirm this now, NIL wise, Michigan's willing to do what they need to do to get an elite wide receiver. Wow. Now we speculated that. I speculated that in like January, just from like some things I was kind of hearing but couldn't confirm. But I can confirm now that Michigan is willing to do what it needs to do to get an elite wide receiver to come to Michigan in terms of NIL. So that's good to know. The next player I want to talk about is actually one of the players I'm most excited about in this recruiting update, John. And that is Travis Johnson, who I have talked about for the longest time. One of the must-gets. We have his huddle. Yeah, I know some of our viewers are already familiar with him. He's special, in my opinion. Travis Johnson is
great separation, going for that ball.
If I can pick an ideal wide receiver class, okay, I would do like either a Calvin Russell or a Tristan Keys. Give me Travis Johnson with CJ Sadler, and then give me the kid who's currently committed to us. And his name, why is this? Jalen Pyle. Jalen Pyle, Travis Johnson, CJ Sadler, and either Calvin Russell or Tristan Keys. And I'm telling you, this wide receiver class would be so nasty. This kid is special. This kid has the ability. He fits chips into the offense, especially the short pass game, the screen game. The reason why this is intriguing, guys, because he's coming for a surprise visit. We just had him for an unofficial visit a few weeks ago. He's coming again this weekend, guys, on his own dime. This is big time. So this is another player, guys, who Bryce Underwood is currently personally recruiting, and he's now back. I'm curious to see how does this weekend visit, what happens here, because he was just here. What kind of move can Michigan make here? Can Michigan take the lead in this recruitment? I'm curious. I don't know. We're going to have to find out together, but it is a big-time move by Michigan to get him back on campus for an unofficial, because they are definitely going to get him for an official visit in June. So we're looking at 3 visits within a 4-month period here: March, April, May, June. I mean,
hey, my birthday's in June, so let's get a birthday present and get Travis Johnson. And imagine this, just the vision of this Bryce Underwood throwing to this guy.
Yes,
with his separation going to the ball.
Yeah, and to give you an update on CJ Sadler, guys, it's looking great. There's just no update. It's just looking great. Like things are like there's nothing new with the CJ Sadler recruitment either. Like CJ, was our guy here is like I want Sadler and Johnson. I agree. You give me Travis Johnson. You give me Travis Johnson at the Z. You put CJ Sadler at the Y. You know how many babies are going to be made? Shit, bro. Michigan fans are about to have a new baby boom, bro. Big time. Well, Garan, yeah, I'm with you on Garan, but Garan's a 2027, so we gotta be patient for Garan. So yeah, the next player we're gonna talk about here is Tristan Keys. Now, boys, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you want to follow the Tristan Keys recruitment, get ready for a roller coaster, because Tristan Keys, who has shown Michigan some attention and visited Michigan, or I'm sorry, he was planned to visit Michigan. I believe it was April 12th. I believe that was the plan.
Yeah.
He has committed to LSU.
Right.
But guess what? He's still taking visits. So
we had some people in chat saying, why is he on there? And I'm like, because it's never over.
Because it's not over.
They say I commit.
And my guy on the LSU channel who covers recruiting for who's going to be on the LSU channel, their show's going to be starting up soon. We just brought them on. He covers Louisiana recruiting. He did a player analysis video for another network that he was working for, and he essentially told me, like, because we were having a conversation about this, and he's like, look, He's with LSU for now. Like for now, yeah, we'll see. I mean, like some of these kids, I'm not saying this is the case. I'm just giving you kind of the recruiting dynamic here. And this does not mean this is the case for Tristan Keys. I don't know Tristan Keys.
Bryce
I
Underwood
don't know his
committed to
intentions.
LSU.
But a lot of these kids will commit early to raise prices. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What it is it's a tactic by agents. So agents will have some of these kids commit to some of these brand schools. So this way, because it's all about value, and you become more valuable when you're off the market, right? So when you're off the market, you become more valuable to schools who want you on in their class. So this could potentially be a strategic ploy by the agent or so. I'm not saying it is. I don't have any intel that says it is, but these things do happen. So I do want to cover this and let you guys know he is still taking visits. It's a name we will monitor, and I don't think this is dead for Michigan. And what I can confirm is that Michigan will remain in contact with him. That is something that I have been told. So
love it.
Yeah, we'll see we'll see where it goes. Next player we're gonna hit on here is Matt Moose Ludwig. All right. So this is an interesting recruitment because him and his, when him and his family visited Michigan, it went extremely well. Currently, this is a Michigan Texas Tech battle. Seems like a crazy team to be competing with Michigan, but word is when he came and visit, he loves what he's seen out of the offense. And actually, he's one of the recruits who spoke about the offense is a high tempo offense. It's an aggressive offense. They're really airing the ball out and it looks very promising. He's one of the recruits who made some one of the few recruits who made some comments about the way this offense is looking right now. And all indications at this time point to Michigan currently in the lead, but it's not over yet. Now he has mentioned that NIL isn't a significant factor, but it is until it isn't. That's kind of how it is right now. Sam Webb kind of says that best, and he's not wrong. Sam Webb says NIL doesn't matter until it matters, right? And we kind of saw that happen with the Andrew Babalola recruitment, even though I know, and I'm going to mention EJ Howland here. EJ Howland's like, oh, it wasn't NIL, it was academic, and it was NIL was definitely a factor. Auburn came very aggressive there with NIL. But regardless, Matt Ludwig is a big time tight end prospect we want to get. He fits the Junior Colson mold. I'm feeling pretty optimistic here, and we will see, where it kind of lies. But what I can say is his next visit to Michigan is going to be June 20th to June 22nd for an official visit. That is when that's closing time, boys. It's closing time. It's Victor's weekend. It's going to be a big time weekend. Michigan's going to definitely look to start solidifying that class midsummer. So this way they can start finalizing pieces into the season. The next player we're going to talk about here, John.
Yeah.
Carter Meadows. This is my must get. I was asked recently, out of all the prospects we're currently in on, who do you want? I mean, outside of the elite receivers like a Calvin Russell or Tristan Keys, give me Carter Meadows. What we have learned and we've kind of known, but what's very interesting about the Cardinals
from Washington D.C. by the way.
That's right. Went to Gonzaga, the same school that Kainoa Winston and Evan Link went to, academic school. What's interesting about the Carter Meadows thing is the teams that are currently in this race are Ohio State, Penn State, South Carolina, Stanford. Well, they just fired their coach, and North Carolina. So Stanford's probably out of it, to be honest with you boys. But we'll see. We'll see who they hire. Michigan fits every single thing that he essentially says he's into. He wants to be developed. He wants to play for, at a high, at high level. He wants academics, and he obviously wants to get to the NFL. Michigan does all those things. They check all those boxes. He has a 3.95 GPA, guys. This kid is so Juju's telling me Stanford's out. I wouldn't be surprised. The coach just got fired.
Yeah, no shock.
So no shock here. But yeah, so this is a player that we need to watch. I believe Michigan can make a serious move here. He is a 5-star, number 6 player in the nation. We're talking big time. His frame, he is 6'6", 200, and I believe it's 20 pounds right now. You add 40 pounds to him, the kid will be a first-round draft pick, no problem. He has that ability. It sticks out on film. We're very high on the Carter Meadows. We will keep you guys updated with that as it goes. Next player we're going to talk about, John, and I made an audible, John. I'm going to talk about a player not on the list, Titan Davis. 6'5", top 100 player, number 7 edge overall in the nation. He just visited Michigan from the 20th to the 23rd on an unofficial. So this is what's interesting about the Titan Davis recruitment. And there's a lot of buzz. There's a lot of buzz right now that Michigan is trending very well on defensive line for these top prospects because Lou Esposito is really building good relationships here. But here's what's interesting about the Titan Davis recruitment. Michigan was not in his top group initially. Well, after this recruitment, Michigan is now in his top group. And now Michigan, he's very high on Michigan. He's actually going to be coming back to campus in June. So Michigan needs to get him back on campus in June. But by all accounts, he's a very solid, very strong relationship right now with Lou Esposito, and Michigan has put themselves in the race for Titan Davis, the number 7 overall edge in the nation, top 100 player. Let's keep our eyes on that one. The next player we're going to talk about, the other edge, Trenton Henderson, who is the number 9 edge in the nation. Michigan's going after all these top 10 kids at every position.
We're taking our shots. You got to do it.
Finally, bro, we're finally recruiting like a serious ass program who says F everybody. We take everybody. They're our players. Listen, Michigan also made a move here, boys. Michigan made a move into his top group. He also has a strong relationship with Lou Esposito, and we are expected to get an official visit in June. He's looking to decide in December. The teams who are in this race are Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Florida State, Georgia, LSU, Texas, USC. Obviously, it's early, but we'll see where this goes. But the good news is Michigan's making moves with these top guys. Next player I want to hit on. And, we don't typically go 2 years ahead, John. We don't typically go 2 years, but we will for a quarterback, especially a quarterback in our backyard, guys. The videos, okay, it was a little choppy. It's better now. So a year ago, our player that we were monitoring was Trey Taylor. The player we are going to monitor now is Donald Tabron, I believe is how you pronounce his last name. I do need to learn it. He's going to be visiting Michigan, guys, March 29th, okay? This is the kid who is considered next in terms of you had Dante Moore. You had Bryce Underwood. Donald Tabron. Maybe it's Tabron. It might be Tabron. It might be Tabron. I'm not sure yet. Tabron. Okay, so Tabron. This is the next kid, guys. We are talking a 2028. He is QB1. It appears early for Michigan. This is a player we're going to need to know. So we're going to be following up on this. We'll see how the March 29th visit goes. Michigan is already in his top 3. What's really interesting about this is he has an amazing relationship with Bryce Underwood in the sense of he looks at Bryce Underwood as a mentor. He looks at Bryce Underwood as a big brother.
It's major.
Bryce Underwood goes to Michigan.
Yeah.
All right. So let's envision this for a second. Bryce Underwood, Rider Lions, Donald Tabron. We're set, boys.
Yep.
5 national championships.
Back it
Dynasty.
in.
Let's go.
Ohio in shambles. Buckeyes in shambles.
15 win streak for Michigan because Ohio State can't beat Michigan. We know it. We know it's coming. We're about to get number 5 next November. We're only 1/3 of the way there. Anyways, but yeah, so let's be on the lookout for this kid. Very excited about it. Our boy Juju said he's seen him in person. He's done a little scouting. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm intrigued. I'll tell you this. It does not hurt to have big brother on your team already. And not only that, mentoring this kid and getting him ready to be the next big time quarterback to come out of Michigan, which is amazing. So Nate Moxley, he's only 14 years old in these clips. I mean, listen, the kid's a 2028, very young, but typically when you can start identifying kids at this age, they do turn out to be like Bryce Underwood when he was in 8th grade, getting scholarship offers in 8th grade. They do turn out to be that dude. So let's be on the lookout for him.
Yeah, for sure. Nate mentioning another quarterback who won a state title at 14. So I'm assuming that's Bryce. Assuming that's Bryce Underwood.
Yeah.
Nate.
Yeah, Bryce Underwood. Yeah, he won. Yeah, Bryce Underwood won 2 state titles.
Yeah, but that's very exciting. And obviously this is just the beginning of this guy, and we'll be following him as things emerge.
Recruiting in general is now heating up. From now until December, it's going to be hot. Now there may be a bit of a lull in July because it's a dead period now, which I hate. It used to not be a dead period. Now it is a dead period. but yeah, I mean, things are about to get really good. Michigan's building these relationships and these inroads with these players, and they're already getting in a good spot. I've already told you I do expect a top 5 class this year. I really do. We'll see let's see how it transpires. One thing I wanted to share that I kind of teased you guys a little bit about. Listen, word is some money has been committed to Michigan's NIL, serious money, and not just for football either, across the athletic department, basketball, yeah, we're talking Queen Jolene type shit here, boys. I'm just gonna let you guys know that right now. Some serious money has been committed to Michigan. I've heard rumors on the amount. I can't say I know the exact amount, but it's a lot. And not only is it a lot, it's not a one-time thing. So we're in a healthy spot for NIL, boys. I'll just let you guys know that right now. When I can confirm more in terms of exact dollars, because I have heard rumblings, I've heard 2 different number amounts, but we're in a good spot from my understanding. So, and one thing I want to point out, John, something that's very interesting that so I did meet up with our boy Marmar this past weekend. Shout out to Marmar. I was talking to Marmar about this. You notice Michigan didn't do a Those Who Stay fund this year. They didn't do a grassroots crowdfunding campaign this year to get NIL money. Did you see that? Typically in January, they launch one of those.
Mm-hmm.
They did not. And it's because we're good. We're in a good spot. Now, I want to stress this because I already know that doesn't mean don't contribute to NIL. You guys want to obviously you can still do that. You can go to what is it? Our Champion Circle. You can go to their website. You can you can contribute. We encourage that. Obviously, I mean, I've donated. Obviously we have a lot of viewers who have donated. So obviously, let's continue making Michigan the greatest in athletics and everything like they typically are. But I do want to just let you guys know there's a reason why Those Who Stay fund was not activated this year, because it just isn't necessary. They are they're in a very good position NIL in terms of football and basketball. Dusty May, we did mention, was given some NIL promises with his recent contract, and word is Michigan's going to be a big spender in this transfer portal. So we'll see on that, though. That's to be determined. But that does appear to be the rumor and the buzz coming and going into this portal right now.
I love it. And, we've been talking about Queen Jolene and some of this stuff, and it's building.
Dude, I'm going to be honest, man. Some of the things that I hear off record and then some of the shit we got for oh, you're promoting Queen Jolene, and then when the portal was going down, where's your queen now? If you only know. And we share what we can share. And I've shared, I'd say 85% of everything I can share in terms of that situation. And but we are very lucky to have that situation. I'm gonna let you know that right now. And if anyone's you're fanboying billionaire, bro, I'm not. I just support my football team, bro. And you know what? If they want to help support the Michigan become a winner, then guess what? They're fans like I am, man. And guess what? I'm on Team Michigan. I'm on Team Michigan. So you better believe I'm going to support the Queen, bro. Fucking shout out to the Queen. And guess what? Guess what, bro? If you were the one donating X amount of dollars to Michigan, you'd have my support too. I'm just rooting you on. I am rooting you on. That's it. So at the end of the day, we're very lucky to have that, that dynamic, and Dave Portnoy too. I mean, what he's been doing, word is he's assisting on some of these, for example, the Jackson Cantwell, and Tristan Keys. Apparently Dave Portnoy's been on that one as well. So very interesting. Our donors definitely stepping up. Appreciate them. And let's keep going, boys.
Yeah. 100%, and more to come. It's great to hear. And yeah, I mean, poverty programs like Ohio State get really upset when people are raking it in and bringing in the billionaires. And listen, we're just embracing this, and we're along for the ride, and it's just building, and everyone else can just watch and wonder.
Well, I'll be a little transparent here. There's people within our fan base who are mad, who think the Queen Jolene shit's one, have some fucking fun, bro. It's okay to have some fun. Not everything's so serious. Why so serious? The Joker. Why so serious? Just have a little fun. To enjoy the ride, man. It is fun to have the 4th richest man in the world and his wife fund your athletic department, okay, to an extent. Obviously there's other donors, so shout out to them as well. But they're making moves, bro. They're making moves for the university. That's great to see.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of generous donors and people who have been very generous to our network,
Our donor.
how about Blue Wolverine here?
Yeah.
Gifting 10 those who stay will be champions memberships. And I'm gonna read them out here. We got Ross Rachel Brady Network, who's getting 30 free days. Taz Reddy, Exploring with Ben's getting a membership.
There we go.
Host of the Oregon Show. DVZK, Peyton Brady Britton, Bailey Vlogs and more. Zachary Polson, Adam Mengold, and Paul Daniel. All 10 of you have 30 free days of Those Who Stay Will Be Champions. All of you have access to our monthly member hangouts that we have at twice a month with Avengers Assemble and our one that comes on the third Monday of every month. So enjoy that, and thank you so much, Blue Wolverine, for that.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out here, John. I'm gonna pull up Juju's comments. So Juju, for those who don't know, Juju gets some info time to time, and so he's been waiting to drop this news. Finney Jr. is set to do a 3-day visit this week. This might be that mystery recruit that EJ was talking about. I know there was a mystery recruit. So Juju's saying that the news is now public so he can share it. And then, of course, for those who don't know, this is the top 100 corner that Michigan's been trying to work on. The fact that he's, again, guys, here's something I want to stress, though. These 3-day, 4-day multi-visit weekends, like, a few things come to mind. One, that's not typical back. Like, that was not typical a few years back. That wasn't typical. Two, are they paying for everything on there? I don't know. Is the agent covering? Like, what is going on here? Because, like, typically that's not happening, but this seems to be a trend now. I wonder if the agencies that represent the players are paying for these visits, or if maybe the university is doing some things, but I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I don't know anything. But long story short, very interesting, very encouraging. Let's see what Michigan does on the Finney Jr. recruitment.
Absolutely. As always, we want to remind everybody that the owner of our network, Mark Rogers, voice of college football, he wrote a book, and you can get it on an Amazon near you. Disputed National Champions today, if you'd like to. A great deal, $9.99, to learn about the 90s and the national championship situations that were happening there. So now we're gonna transition a bit to a little bit of voice of college basketball today, because we've got Michigan is in the Sweet 16, defeating Texas A&M, who, I'll be honest, I thought was going to win. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I mean, this is shocking, and they were tied, and then all of a sudden Michigan makes that final stretch, which look, it's been going to the last play of the game on all these games, but Michigan, the last couple of minutes, they poured on the gas. 91-79. Michigan making it to the Sweet 16. I mean, at this point, is Michigan playing with house money? Like this is such an incredible turnaround, and I think Dusty May should be given all the Coach of the Year awards at this point. As Michigan was 8-24 last year, and they go from 8-24 to winning the Big Ten and now making the Sweet 16.
Did you see my post on X, John, about the Dusty May Coach of the Year thing?
I might have.
All right, check this out. Let me share it. Let me share it to the community.
Yeah, go ahead.
So guess what?
Go ahead.
Guess what? We have a crime. Ladies and gentlemen, call the cops. At the FBI. Guess what? Introducing our 2025 Naismith Men's College Coach of the Year finalists. Let me know when you see Dusty May.
Nope.
That's it. That's the list.
What?
That's the list. So I said from 8 wins to 27 in year one, Big Ten tournament champion, Sweet 16 run, but not a finalist for Naismith Men's College Coach of the Year. Crime. It's a crime. What is going on here? That's insane. 8 to 27 wins. We were bottom of the Big Ten. We almost won the regular season title. We win the Big Ten tournament title. And then he takes us to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
Yeah, maybe Jeez Louise has it. Maybe there's some Michigan bias going on.
Dude,
we see it around here.
That is one of the greatest turnarounds in college basketball like ever. Yeah. 8 wins to 27.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Wild.
Anyways, so let's talk about the game because we crushed A&M. That was enjoyable. Look, here's what's really stuck out to me about that game, John. only 9 turnovers, John. Only 9 turnovers in the game. If Michigan, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, if Michigan can stay under 10 turnovers a game, hit their free throws like they hit, and play like they're playing, we may have a run here. Because Auburn is beatable. Auburn is beatable. Good, very good, beatable. Texas A&M beat Auburn. We beat Texas A&M. Now, I know that doesn't always correlate, but it's something to be mindful of. Listen, Michigan just played good ball. I mean, Dusty May just knows what's great about good coaches or great coaches. When they're in the big games, tournaments, they step up, man. They step up. They handle business. They get the job done. They get the players to rise to the occasion. Michigan's 3-point percentage wasn't very good, but we were hitting an 80% free throw clip. We out-rebounded one of the best offensive rebounding teams and overall rebounding teams in college basketball, 48-39. Our offensive rebounds against I want to repeat this, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the nation. We out-rebounded them 16-15. We out-assisted Texas A&M. Our guys were making plays. We only had 9 turnovers to Texas A&M's 8. That's winning basketball. If you continue that, we may see little brother in the Elite 8. And I want to ruin some seasons, John, because they've been talking too much shit. Little brother has gotten a little too prideful. And they think winning 2, you're 0-2 against us in the regular season. You lost the tournament. Shut up. Go to your room. Go to your room, little brother. And then let's put them to their effing room, John. I want them Elite 8, and I want to own them.
Yeah, and here's what's notable: Trey Donaldson, who everybody's talking about, he scored 8 points, and so it's a team effort here because Vlad Golden and Danny Wolf combined with 37 points and 21 rebounds. There is talent throughout this team. It's not based on one player. It's what you've seen in Dusty May teams, right? Even in the past. And I think the reason he was so successful at where he was. So you're seeing that again here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, listen. And I do want to give a shout out here to Maze Madman because word is he now feels the extension was worth it. So, and I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse, but it's a good time. But yeah, I mean, look, he's earned. Listen, this is why. Shout out to Ward Manuel. Being proactive, locking him down. Dusty May is a real coach. Dusty May is one of the best coaches in college basketball, even if they don't want to recognize it. I don't care. He's proven it wherever he's been. And we have a good one here. We have a real coach, a coach who actually makes the players around him better and gets his players to rise up to the occasion. I'm very excited to the trajectory of this program. And let's see what we can do against Auburn here. Yeah.
Anything's possible. I think with this talent and this team, it's very possible that Auburn is a beatable basketball team, and so that really would speak to the possibilities to go all the way if Michigan can pull that one off. But with that said, keep an eye out. Obviously, go for it.
We got to show our bracket and where everyone's standing. Are we ready for that, John?
Yeah, if you've got it ready. I was just about to make another shout out. But yeah, Winn Agency $1,000 competition going on right now for the bracket challenge. And it looks like TJ's got where the standings are right now.
So here we are. We have our $1,000 bracket challenge. Currently, I am in 3rd place. We are, we're playing strategic here. I don't want to be in the front because then that's how you get sniped. We don't want to get sniped. We're right in the middle where we want to be. I got Duke, as you can see. So that's really going to be the determining factor for me if Duke can win this or not. Obviously, Winn Agency is doing a hell of a job at 3rd place. And we got our boy Keith Rebar.
Oh,
look at Keith. And we got our boy Lance Flory in the house. He's just actually, we're tied. He's got Auburn. And man, that's going to suck when Michigan beats Auburn, Lance. And then we got Trey Morgan in the house. Wolverine in Ohio, currently leading. I'm not even gonna lie. Look he's had a 99.5% hit rate. Who invited him into this? Kick him out. Cheating. PEDs. Do we drug test in this, John? If we don't, we should. We need to drug test Wolverine, Ohio.
Yeah, Wolverine in Ohio has been clearing. Yeah, he's been doing good.
He obviously used AI for his picks, which is illegal.
Ha!
His bracket's void. I'm just kidding. So he's in it. He's in it. And then we got our good friend GT. We got there's John.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah. Hey.
A for effort.
Look, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and sometimes you don't make it, and that is what it is. But congrats to the members that are still in this, which is basically everyone except me, and and so and I'm excited to see if Wolverine in Ohio can keep where he is, or
no, I'm not
somebody
excited
else
for
is
that.
going to overtake.
I'm very unexcited for Wolverine Ohio. I am excited for where FOSU is. That's a good bracket.
Yeah.
I will say though, John, to you miss 100% of shots you don't take. Our friend Nick took no shots. Our friend Nick made a bracket and took no shots. So did our friend here, Harry. I don't know what happened there, boys. I mean, I do kind of know. Nick said he had trouble, like it wouldn't let him make changes after the first 4 play-in or whatever. But I do know that you could still modify the bracket because my dad submitted a bracket. Actually, he's right here. Actually, unfortunately, not in the best position, but we'll see how it goes. But that's where we are, John. That is the update on the Winn Agency $1,000 bracket challenge.
There
we will
it
update
is.
you guys next week.
So yeah, we will keep updating. Yep. And yes,
It's all love, Wolverine,
asking me.
Ohio. It's not void. Your bracket's still good, although it is under investigation. I got the NFLPA looking at you.
John has gotten along on his looks his whole life. Yeah, that's wouldn't that be nice, huh?
He even gets out of speeding tickets.
Yeah, that's hey, you turn on the charm, anything's possible.
There you go.
So let's chat about your Thursday show. So as we know, we have not one but 2 live streams every week for you guys. That are available to the community free of charge. Obviously, you've got that 2nd and 3rd hour that you can unlock on the Michigan Wolverines call-in show live. What's coming up Thursday at 8?
I have, in my opinion, a big guest. I got a big guest this Thursday. I got a big guest the next 2 Thursdays. This Thursday we have Von Lozon from Maize and Brew, the managing editor of Maize and Brew, who I'm a big fan of. I've actually been following his work for a very long time.
Wow.
I'm excited to have him on. I'm excited to get to know him more, get his takes on where the program's at and all that. So be on the lookout. That Von Lozon from Maize and Brew is going to be joining us Thursday for the call-in show. Let's have a good time. I also want to promote the call-in show after that. We are going to have college football with Sam. He's going to be joining me for the call-in show in 2 weeks. So let's be on the lookout for that. And yeah, man, let's have a hell of a show next Thursday. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So Blue Wolverine has also renewed his membership. He is back, and obviously he's been gifting a bunch of memberships.
Yeah. What the
hell? He is a Connor Stallions espionage tier member, and I've never taken. You're on that ticker still, Blue, and you are one of our most generous contributors, and we appreciate you so much. Let's throw Blue Wolverine some more emojis for everything that he does for our channel and for our network. Not just here, but also taking some time on some of the other some of the enemy territory and representing the Wolverines.
Did we give a shout out to Wolverine Ohio for being a member for 2 months, John?
Here we go. Yeah, there we go. And look at that.
It's not just because of the comment about me, but no, I just want to give a shout out to Wolverine Ohio. And Wolverine Ohio, we actually have Matt Weiss investigating the AI bracket creation from you. So don't worry, I got Matt Weiss on it. He's on. He's coming, bro.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
He's never not coming, bro. Anyways, taking notes. What is wrong with Matt Weiss? All right, so you hate to see it. All right, so that's where we are. Shout out to Wolverine Ohio for being a member for 2 months. You're going down, bro. All right. I see you. Don't make me call Ryan Day's brother. Don't make me do it.
Yeah. Third base investigations. Let's get on that. Folks, of course, as you know, you can follow us on Twix. You can get our Twix accounts at all times through here, but also now at the bottom of the screen. Follow us. We got some good takes. at John Diadamo, at TJ_Ronin. And we do appreciate you guys for being with us. We've had quite a few people in the off season in March stopping by, and that's because everybody's spreading the word, everybody's telling everybody, and we're continuing to make this thing happen.
Damn. Yeah, I was just thinking third base investigations. I was trying to figure out how can we use that. We need to use that. We need to implement that into our show somehow. I was thinking maybe we should. I was thinking about maybe another membership tier or something. I don't know. That's hilarious. We got to use that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, y'all. Well, until next time, thanks everybody for coming. We'll see y'all. TJ will see y'all on Thursday, and we'll both see y'all next Tuesday. And until next time, go blue, and we'll see you soon.
Go blue.